Hello, my name is Ernesto, and this is the Installation and Maintenance Guide video for Project Scope. Topics in this video include downloading and installing the Java SDK, downloading and installing Android Studio, downloading and installing Visual Studio or the editor of your choice, downloading and installing Unity, how to download the project from Collaborate and open it in Unity, and how to build the project for Android. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and download the Java Development Kit. You go ahead and accept the license and you pick the platform. My current platform is Windows, so I'm going to go ahead and download for Windows, wait for it to download, and then you go ahead and install it. The next thing you want to do is you want to download Android Studio. You can get it from right here. You want to do it in this format because it's a lot easier when you download and install Android Studio. It'll go ahead and scan your system and it'll find that the JDK is already pre-installed. So when you go ahead and download it, it takes a while to install, but just be patient. It'll get done eventually. And after that, the next thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and get Visual Studio. You don't necessarily have to get Visual Studio because that does also take a while to install. You could also go ahead and use Visual Studio Code or any other editor of your choice. If you do decide to use Visual Studio, just be aware that FIU actually offers you the enterprise version for free, and they give you the key, so it's the full-blown version. After you go ahead and you install the editor of your choice for your scripts, you want to then go and install Unity. So you want to go ahead and go to Google and look up Unity Archive. When we started this project, we use this version of Unity. I recommend you start with this version simply because whenever you use a version that is newer, your code could break. I don't think it will break. We haven't tested it, but you can go ahead and test it if you want. You can use whatever the latest one. At the time of this video, the latest one, it appears to be is Unity 2018.2.18. You go ahead and you download that. In this case, I'm going to download this one. You hit next, accept the license agreement, and this is probably the most important part of the installation process. You want to make sure Android build support is selected, and then you go hit next and just allow the installer to do its thing. I'm going to hit cancel because I already have it. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to get the project from Collaborate. We went with Collaborate instead of GitHub because the project is going to get very big at some point, and GitHub has a cap on how much you can actually push. And with Collaborate, it was just a lot easier, a lot more seamless. You want to get the way to get it from Collaborate is you ideally want to have a Unity account, and then you want to give that email to the product owners, and then what they would have to do on their end is add you to the project, and then it'll be right in the cloud. For me, it's grayed out because I already have it on my desktop, but you go ahead and you hit it here and it'll download and it'll update, it'll sync, and then from then on you just hit it from the disk. And this is what the project looks like. If you want to read more about Collaborate, you can go ahead and look it up. It really is the best tool to use in terms of version control for Unity projects. If you want to go ahead and use GitHub, you can try. It's very difficult to get Unity and GitHub to work correctly together. You have a lot of issues with meta files, and it can turn into a big headache. So I really recommend you use Collaborate. Once you have the project downloaded and ready to go, if you decided not to go the Visual Studio route, you're gonna have to go into your preferences, and under external tools, you wanna link it to the IDE of your choice or whatever editor you decide to use. Also, it's very important you install the JDK and Android Studio first, because once you install Unity, it will already be linked for you here. You won't have to go ahead and browse and look for it. Another thing, you want to go ahead and peruse the scene. You want to familiarize yourself with all the scripts and whatnot. You can go ahead and click any script you want and hit edit, and it'll then open up in your IDE. And this is our object controller script that we worked on. Familiarize yourself with the code, and now to build for Android, what you want to do is you want to make sure, first of all, your build settings is set to Android. And also, if you actually go into the player settings, this is very important too. Under other settings, you're going to notice here minimum API level. You need to have API level 24 installed on your computer in order for it to build for Android. So to do that, you open up your Android Studio, you go to Configure, SDK Manager, and you want to go ahead and download API level 24. If you want to upgrade the project to a higher API level, then you want to download those first, and then go back into Unity and change them here. Also, another thing, do not change the package name, for the simple reason that that package name is tied to the Wikitude Cameras license key. This is an edu license key. It's good, so it should be good for a year. I believe it's going to last longer than that. If for whatever reason you have issues, you want to contact Wikitude edu and let them know what the project's about, and they'll give you a free license key so you don't have a watermark. And that's pretty much it. Once you have all of that squared away and you understand how everything works, you want to go to build settings. You can either hit build, and you want to have a separate folder to save your APK files. We save them here in a folder called APK inside the AR folder. Where you choose to save them is up to you. So you can either hit build. When you hit build, it'll build it into that folder, but then you have to manually copy this APK file to your phone. Or you could also just hit build and run, and it'll build it into that folder and then also copy it for you into your device, but your device must be plugged in. And that's pretty much it. Once you build and run, it'll build on your phone and it'll automatically open and run, and you can go ahead and start testing your build and continuing the project. That's pretty much it.